Down mako walking adui LRA komal melo wigan gamet kament melo mano kongen no kon meyot ko mewit wek ben gi chakwo chelwe down maken maiti kin gang wek ko mabe ki jomo ken ma pero woki pero pa adui LRA ni report ni kidong jemo ken ti wayu pin mapol e yub melo gange mojin kon wachak ne we madir ka waduchen wamete kan kor ke kore ene yub melo gange mojin dong chake kombeti ki Wan Luo television.
At least the one thing for now we can all agree on is the soap to use. He likes that it's big and lasts long.
Anti-economy.
I like that it keeps my skin smooth. Ate alina echovu. And the children like that. It smells amazing. Everyone is happy. Movit soap comes in 4 fantastic flavors. Movit family soap is truly soap for the whole family.
Movit. All day confidence.
Dano mago walking adui LRA karamo karo jani gimero kon meyot kom keyboard gamente milovo Uganda.
Gen mawai ki gamente halego ni gamente miergu yen yo mo me konyo joma go aki amak pa LRA ni.
Gamente milovo Uganda otiko nongolim den me $1,000,000 mia chel piar chel wia bit me meto rompa bade ke me Arua wego doki rome wilobo.
Then in African Development Bank agreed to lend the Uganda government $165 million. It's about 140 something euros.
Kadong kaber makegero medoko otiat pito Ebola ibunia manik malo mekonya me dira Congo dong chok chago tichi kene mecha biara chel malupe ki report pa UN. Amore dari afoyo rini ania sande Akumu tini tichi ario nindwe angwen medre mia boro imwaga alibario pieru bichel yup melorange mochuin binobotin ki Wan Luo television. Down mko woki ya line pa du LRA gule gamente mele man mele Uganda meko nyogino kon mayor komati ne weki meke kuwa ken down mke ne weki kuwa mabe la bombe kitele ginwane mono jima pol makare kiching adui yo weko yor komi wijme peti mabe icha moke ne lokom kuwa ken down kedong timo kesangaya gen weko kuwa ken down bero te kama gen gidoke chen ingelwen moter magapiari komalo mele Uganda ne gen bene go berka ngoponi kar enta dukene matiete petika nen pen yor kome wiji ken gin beti mabe kemiaro konye wek nywak gitam ka bene kwe chungi wek chako we jomo kene matikin gang mapo woke chinga dui LRA elwen mo yin komalo melo Uganda enim wanen kong Lokman keyboard Jonisani Uchaga John.
Kwa futak mada bod jo magudu kilum magukok bod gamente ni umiero ukatiki programo bodgi wek okony me rocho kwa mamegi santa abe dano ma uberi lumpi mwaka apa wia chelo loki dwe abungwen ichi adui LRA onyorni kitenyo gi atahala bomo paro pigi chi umiero kimini gigien mo bodgi paromo yapo wangjo magudu kilum
Gen mawai ki gamente halego ni gamente miergu yen yo mo me konyo joma go aki amak pa LRA ni. Pian ke ner mot mukeni tikirat mukeni futikira chaji kome mukeni tika jiji matek kaberu bene pere ibgi neno iberu kanyi tiro mi longi mere chala wa igema penyo longi bene chala da pian waro dugu eni pe watiki kid gema moika kay nen dul ma chala yore en go bieno go mako chingwa eni olo to wangeni wan kingiwa eto ka wale kin paje ka changata mama ping ngata mama ngewa pe chilega na ti borgamente nyingu yabwangi gunen wan bene mo waduguni
Richard Watmon ngarachel bene ma woki tima line meno dok dano me pade district wajoni gamente umiero o papi dano maki mako gi pien uberu no tijgi mi gwako gi wek peki maggi eto gumkane merni umiero guroj kwogi
gamente ka ono giye ya de daene ni ina yeka magamente romo beru ka keto lim madan mi konyo anywele mi Uganda unyo anywele mi lobowa pini yunre team magyan ginano nyo organization maginano ni funy magimi iri ino funy mawako kairo no dung intiki bu maromene chuni bu enoni no ochang unyo ala bertiye donc amira waji an akar ke arem malet unyo arem matere da gamente unyo aber ka kor kar malaj nyo gwa ga ber kitam ne gamene ramu chung kwera ya rem makar ke ye unyo jimu gu makar ke ye eto kar no konya ti bu pe da mat konya no ti wa bot yunre donc be ale ko gamente ni ka gimero ni ko pa nywele Uganda ku du chiano nyo ku bet mabe go nene gi konyo dul eneni
Geoffrey Omony ngad matelo wi dul ma yol rate matigi metielo ko luak magudugo ki lumi chi adwi pa LRA wajoni tigitie me jingo kero pa luak meno
me achel wanel ni umiar wa tiero ko vuli me nongo dero me fonye tutwale e gankwan ki me ticheng ki dong bana wanel ni watimo kwet polkar en kwet enaye me ne wa nech matut ki kil kwai ji mango ma jo malwanyo yero gi mero kar man wa gi nong gi cham chi kwet an ni konyo ma ta da ki dong ma deke watuto be mata da men nana ni watiero ko vulu watiero ko mege ki watiero ko ngat mo ka kan ken gang kono to twale ma giti ko e per e kem men nana ni waji an kar gi ware geu non kar men nana ni gen kan gi kilo atgi ki joma urumugi gete ki kar menana ni kwa miaro umete anyi mabe
Ambrose Honoria DJ Megulu City unyuru yupagamente mapat matika konyo ko dano maudugo kilum ichia dwi pa LRA dokni yuptie madit pigi.
These days everybody must have a national ID and some of them do not have national IDs, so we have tried to make it possible for everybody to get a national ID, and we have had work. We have that is for the women. We have had a YLP, and we also now have the PDM, SACCOS, and among others, Emioga. But as like I've told you, some of our people were not used to money, not used to spending money, and not used to earning money. So it's a long process. We had the Microfinance Support Center and training some of our people, and I'm happy that very many organizations took a lead in this sector. We have got all the religious affiliations have involved, from the Muslims, the Christians, and all other denominations came together and said, no, we need to be together and see that we change the livelihoods of our people.
Jone giwajo ni kache gitielo kogi we kogi obed mabe dogi beru kikero mechung pigi kengi beru kikero megwakolo teno makinywalo gi kilum pi Wan Luo TV Joni sani ochaka chon Igulu City
containment country bal an ni tiar balon tiar bal de madere ko ngara tiere ko balon
bala bene o
ma tiere no
ma
Lodge me yub me miyoga mati Igulu City kutiko dongo duru podan makuno chente yub man mechaka duwako ne chen weke duwak limano luore jomo kenda kuno nkony in kite yub ni enim Nicholas Kidega mati commercial officer me Igulu City wani mondan mapol maoga mochente man imwakali makarni alibaro piru bich elifut biya kuduwaka niyo watin ndoko miyor kuduwak chen wek chente man kimi bod jomo kene wek bene uwiyo nya bod jomo kene fut biya kuno chente man iki group abor ken kugamo chente man Igulu City lima yonge uyeti pasenta par boro ike porgi piadek makaber mokene gitika nongo ye konye yo mokene mapat matike bot gamente milobo Uganda ite yop me emiyoga ke miyo chilling million PR bichele bolwak magiti te group nyedul Igulu City onen kong tude medwoko chen lim dano gamete yop me emiyoga kibola church pa Wan Luo TV eni aye David Magere.
Nicholas Kidega mati commercial officer Migulu City kono tiro moko pe donyo pa chiling milion 150 ite sakos abor mati Gulu City ite yup me imyoga pi mwakalim maukaro machente meno gitika tikwere mabe atira lokma ake bola derman ma entika dor yup me imyoga ni kono moko ni mwakalim mukaro alibari gipiru beach alibari gipiru bichiel groups mapapat magiti katich machalo sakos Gulu City guberu kigum matek meno lim ki bod gamente kamaling mandung tika nyete malope gi nok magen gi no bod dud mapapat eno mogoni sakos man kono mati but city ario man ba degla yibi division kachiel ki la ro peje ni kono mano division achiel tiki sakos apawia bor ni kono gitie katimu je mapapat maikin ga ye gwakole charo produce tiji saloon ni kin mukene a groups tiate ne ko
Paul group wang petete mabe and to kina mo if you want to take care matalo share my business or to take care we are fine now ba degla yi want to take do restaurant owners kinte mabe can we are meeting group petete mabe no one now kill down to the channel di wako kikira bene welim tika nya kere icha achira so we are but we take restaurant owners they're doing well achil ki veterans kai du bani said me la ropeje we take market vendors they are doing well we don't do people living with disability no more many can want to get there
en kono mogni division ario kono sakos mapeti kati mabe aye jumaktie tiji saloon idong meno ki ba degla yibi division ki la ro peje boda kachiel ki produce jumatim produce pegeti kati mabe bene
you are beyond ka down no me long ke ga me dware and therefore ukwanyo waratwa kero mi ke ben o mi wel mana no ka furi chaga ena ka de gam te ya de wel me gam ben mete en mi me ni gam cha mo ken I wel mo ken me mi ki pa wa ti e ju mu gam ko le long le ma chi o le ti pa ni pen po le to lo chen ma wa do me no dwa ti en no può per pagamento ni una mo di guarda il lo metto lo lon che non kada wana kuri kwe non wana kare e yeni
eno mogoni ruom me dwoko lim meno konti la ping wa yipasen apawia bor keken ento gien gitika mogoni meno fut gitika mede ke nywako tam ika choke mapapat magitika rwate ki sakos pia dekweri odujumati Gulu City meneno kidiyo ango ma jo man romo dwoko kede lim man en kono chieko matek ma yat yenge ni meno group mo keken ma pebe dwoko lim man dunga mente bukeme kwedgi pien kar mo merge dwoko lim do kar woko nichake magi miki chente man idi mwaka lim mo kar no dung pore mergen go chak dwoko lim man
dano bunian no we are mente ma dir per lo me mioga che più a mo dan no per poi gan mioga no bit na twal en tia no me twal ni twal no me biru kan no che do ka comportamento mere gen ma no
en kono lego ni ka jo man pego katika maleng menene olo toge dwoko lim man ge chako leboge ge chek en pe man kono ge geno paho eno pako gi matek pikaro chente man tich tutwale dud mapapat magitika timo tich mabe won gitika dwoko chente grok ginyai wiye machalo mete kwede biashara loka ng'e kom chat ge weli Wan Luo TV David Magere
Lubajo padano mamako konya matek ni miyo ruwech kidong bene oto luak me miyo chwake kom lumony machone te NRA gamente pa enre madin tiko mikar mani ngemiyo ruwate ki President Yoweri Museveni Lubajo palele Judith Auma ginki buri mwaka misachi ngino waini miyo ginene kino kony mo kibod gamente pen gitiyo matek menene luako tako miyo kony kibene chwak madit bo lumony me NRA Ikarmo karangeche kumalo melobo Uganda. Geno walbene mono President Joel Museveni uchkat kichek mo pigini karmo karanged new watin. Put piyagi jobo cheke man bolo paju pa megawa uma gin kichware misachi. Wanen eni kibola church pa Wan Luo TV man Christopher Nyero olo kilo paju pa jumachano konyo ruech iching lumon pa NRA.
Luteno merwa kiwade pa lele judita uma gen ki won ore brimwaki masaki gen go wajne kombete gete kalego la didlobo new ye beru ket gi peng pi kachoke we gen gnyam gen magi wajunia jami mogo modong mapela didlobo chobo pe pajuman kun lunyorge gen go tiu matek e karma NRA National Resistance Movement poro chaka
Beatrice Arach ankono nyati Gulario nyamo kana gelwane ni Sima Elizabeth Pedro Latin Kayo Panego Lieli Yakta Judita Uma Agatiak Kumbiri Wadong Wanela Mera Wanario Yela Medicoreti Kumbira Tika Lok Ankena Kwanyo Karemon me mette ke lobo ko chike malu nyodona we ko borra kar ma ko ke don wen ko ke cer ka wen cer ko chike kere mano bedo pe gen mageno timo ma cer judita uma e kar ma ente ya tiak ya chike ko ma ali ba chel nya bo wen pia bo wen ya chel o kere don naka dong nek mo naka malira tiak magidona tiak masaka nendo piario meduma ngwen umara elba chel nya bu men pia bu men beach chidon dano aga tiak maluka ge tij matek ma eno bedo katiune
malupe kilok palupajo Judita Uma mau yekinying ni Dr. Uma uberikin mon mau kwa magena yego jolo National Resistance Army uma kuberido dogo National Resistance Movement ya chole kun eno jolo kitumu ya moro ya tiak
la bola chiel maromi na ye jemi mefu chelo tractor gino eno wajo ni eno gimione kimego Judita Uma Dr. Chidong weko an machelo cha kene ka dano to go weko iri go kore mone inone kapeti ko mirige beru let chele fail ngena ko weko no gero ko chope chu weka tika yenyo jone alego la dildo no mene wa machelo family cha wa mer wate kere o weko tit detail jema pol ma endo wa no mer tit mo kene men ni ma patke jema no fu jara tractor mo mer ko family
Lopajo gen ge wajone Uma otio kite karmano ente Dr. me rueyo mona moro me chung kachel ki President Museveni ikare mano mangat moy ken mo nyurne ene chwako President no tiga keru kwone kamatek
dane kumgamente machelo me berjela wet nuna ken dane
Lok winyania konyma Uma beno mio pechung kela dilobo weko monme LRA nyolo Resistance Army gen guk tamunio mir ginere wako imwakali wachir kimia bungwen ki Pierre bungwen we a beach ono kimirni kineka Uma ento kigum parachwech eno doko chiroke guli kachoke mo weka tiak masika timmeo ono dong NPG ya tiak
gen mageno timo machero Judita Uma ikare ma ente ya tiak ya chike ko ma ali ba chel nya bo wen pia bo wen ya chel o kere don naka don nek mo naka malira tiak magidona tiak masaka nendo piario meduma ngwen umara elba chel nya bo wen pia bo wen beach chidon dano aga tiak maluka ge tij matek ma eno bedo katiune me kupu wat ikin dano me ya tiak kuno tutwale mege fu ke dana mengeone beru pe ki kamente mono tontike garjano ti NRA chidong o nako kelo awano metoma dong ci NOA dongot ko chero biale
ento emonymano kineko mena Uma makilwone Paula uyela ola ma en kinere kinjo mapol maginero gi atiak massacre Otman wajonia President kikome oreyo yatiak Akumu kidog ot mapol makinero ge yatiak massacre karma en chiriatiak bene o weganka Uma ge kikome mau kumo penne komena Uma Beatrice Arach ma en yetie latin kayo pa Judith Auma kachiel ki wone Brumwake Misaki wajo niya lupajo miro ni agin gibedi kachoke ke ladil lobo wek gi piny ladil lobo pe jami pu mayam eno chike ni miro miyo ki pajo mano machalo poch pe turte palunyorne
ci rio bot ma babana bene ma ake ibanda sub county magel wona bicheshe eno bero ubiri wat ma chok kila dir lobo bi karma la tutwale karma en ikobo ene training school pa police matie masindi ci en mana kuone beno rwen duju wani mwaka en pa chiel mi abu wani pier bu wani wa beach ka chiel ki mwaka chiel ki dana karma chiel liel pajo ci bena en no wan kuno ma wajo ne miero kage wata kila dillo ci ki po wiye ñene bere katima assignments mogo je maget ñu ay be timna be gara matier na yamu en to ka wajo kila dit bi po ko me ci ki gumma be gar mana tika tiji OPM e programme chako ya chaka na tiji OPM magelone Northern Uganda Rehabilitation Program ana ti deputy regional coordinator ka do ngey be ndo no gumme me de tiji ma chelo head of office pa agricultural library recovery program ngey da tiago the development initiative for Northern Uganda for a better teach program at der to na better doro ye karmana watte kila ditlogo en la ditlogo bero mo ko ni en ngey ko bana
pelorangea mauchwen an Christopher Nyero Yamoro district
Kawadire West Nile man ki Arua City Government mlobo Uganda otiko gamo nyonongo limden mati wel mechente mlobo America man dola milion 140 memete rompa ba dege mati Arua wako doko loke rome bilobo mano rome tila malto twale eloke bot Wan Luo television chiario tini odiko won koma chon padul mogoro MPs maki West Nile Parliamentary Caucus mabeno bedo MP palwak Maivo East Constituency Geoffrey Feta wen mon gamente ote odong nongo limanti atare mechako tijme meto rompa ba dega Arua oloka odoke rom mewilobo Robert Ariaka Kelly report eyup meloka ngema ochunyi itikane neko mbedi kany ki Wan Luo TV. La dit Feta wani mwaka alibario pieru ya bichi karme kwero mwaka pieru ya dek mikuchi West Nile iching dulme Uganda National Rescue Front UNRF maono fujon mano NT kino memer moko chikme West Nile kimoko jima polata maikino tiye meturompa gankal man badiga Arua owekimet irome wilobo. Eno moko ni imwaka eoni kene dwemi ang'wen African Development Bank limo Arua kako moko ni mongere mokonyo meturompa badege man oweko loko doki rome wilobo.
So recently, this year around April is when the final discussions were done. Then in African Development Bank agreed to lend the Uganda government $165 million. It's about 140 something euros, but in Ugandan shillings it is 650 billion shillings, which will now be used for upgrading that facility.
Ikinje makutima yeti nyamulokelo telema area menu weketi kachel ki John Don Lobo dak bene adukine onen.
The next stage is for CAA to now advertise, source a contractor. Now once the contractor is sourced, what other advantage do we have? Of course, if we have local people who have capacity to do the work, they will bid. But if they don't have, the law is clear. 30% of that contract is supposed to be subcontracted to local firms that have capacity. That is still advantage. Now, once the facility is here, the opportunities are enormous.
Man omiyo karki African Development Bank meneno mabe kabedo man kibero nyamolo kidul mesivo Aviation Authority man CAA weki nen wilchili adi maono mete kar makeromo duokere chente man weki mok kit me moko lokom limdeni eni. Idwe mia bichele mwaga mokat lodiro me African Development Bank gulimo Arua gorwati kilotela ke ben go worga tilo dir moa kidul me Civil Aviation Authority wekinen kit mitie kolok ni eni. Mandong idwe mia ang'wen mwaga ni ene nyamulok mag giko berutie dok ADB man African Development Bank oyie miyo bod gamente melobo Uganda $1,150,000 makibitiyo kwere megeto rompa badeke ma Arua ni weyo dok rome wilobo. Mapat kimeno bene kibigero ka ng'wech padege man runway obero ni yake kilomita 3.5 budok kilomita 3.5 manut lache tie mita 100.
Now, the runway between 3.5 to 3.6 kilometers long, and the runway width is going to be 100 meters wide, which I read myself to the president and the audience there. The president made commitments on a few, including the airport, including the Arua Road. So, but by that time, African Development Bank had been conducted by CAA and by government for that matter. And in that period, as a parliament, we were debating the importance of regional airports. Because just our neighborhood here, Tanzania.
Gendong tieni mono yupo bade mano bokone matek med rome wot me biashara talok ni mono kibidwago piny irom nyowel cha man gitiko me wot guri ka je tok dege wele no bero itik cha manok dok tiyo oyor yot.
The domestic flights by Air Tanzania make it easy for citizens. A citizen can board Air Tanzania from Dar es Salaam, go to Dodoma. In the morning, do work. In the evening, go back to Dar es Salaam. He can board from Dodoma, go to Arusha. Do work, go back to Arusha. Can board from Dodoma, come here in the border here, do work and go back. Similarly, here in Kenya, people board from Kisumu here. They go to Nairobi. They do what takes them there. They come back to Kisumu in the evening. They board from Nairobi. They go to Mombasa, Malindi, wherever, Eldoret, and come back. So for us here, because the regional airport facilities are weak, the cost of transport is still very high, yet the road infrastructure is not up to date.
Feta dong tiki gen ni mono ka che wek to kidego bedio tiki na roki Kampala akime Roma papa dege mano bokone matek a padan ki ya Arua mechero Kampala, Nairobi, Doha, Qatar, Dubai, Addis Ababa, Cape Town, Johannesburg, Harare, Mati, Zimbabwe, kidong bene Kubu, West Nile kabere mo kenechero Central African Republic, South Sudan, kidong DR Congo, ikin mokene. Wan Luo television yup meloga ngemo chuny Robert Ariaka ki Arua City. Ki kudiere melo wo Uganda lier mapol mogo atini ki gankal me kube me ICT kidong National Guidance gulimo office nyo gankal madit Vision Group mati Kampala mani industrial area. Ikindio mago berute tini kaneno kietma kabero manti kwa yo bedo Right Honorable Justin Kasulu Lumumba mati Minister madit pi ICT kidong Minister matiri pi ICT Honorable Joyce Navosa kachil ki Minister pi Locom National Guidance man Honorable Alioni Yoko Odria go berute kalimo gankal Vision Group nan ken makiti ko jima pol magaramo ten ko wot nyoko tekin gankal me ICT kidong kabero man manogi chunga chel pichobo miri pagamente melo Uganda wangetu obot anywal Uganda yomadong yot loyo eleb maginiang mano Vision Group tiyo ko me pokolo kangia pi anywali Uganda watiki report ni wanen kombeti. Vision Group Jalaway Company nyot pokolo ngea madit lo Uganda kijago imwaga alibachel miya bongwen ki piara boru ya bichel dok imwaga man okwero mwaga piara ngwen metich pianywali Uganda. Ot pokolo rangi man tiki jema poli kene tie gajeri TV kidong radio kijema kan mapola chai kene tika rodo karatach mon luoni printing weng ti kachel. Adit Maloyo Vision Group man don wanyame karamatika jolo welu makigang kalme ICT owaje mapol time garamuti ye biachar ki wat mabekin gamente gang kalme ICT kidong en ot pokolo rangi me Vision Group. Ano wani mono na lok matika bine karaman maje wengno ti wok chero monluni digital onyoi kubeme internet kati jemo we chimchingi don computer neno pa company man matika lok wako chop kit madong jeme tika lok kwere wek bene gotim jema no chopo neno kimire paket madong tika wat kwere ewi lobo koloni.
So across these 40 years, we have grown and expanded, but we've been guided by a certain philosophy, basically around 5 pillars. One was to make sure that we increase audiences. Of course, as any media house, you really want to have the control of audiences because ultimately that is what you're able to sell for business. And because of that, we then went into being very particular about creating products that served regional communities. That is why you see we have a presence in different parts of the country, north, east, west. At one point, and maybe I'll mention it in front there, we also had newspapers that were published in some of the natural languages. We were very deliberate about products and content around youth, women, sports, and lifestyle. And to basically solidify that, we decided to have a National Geographic representation. So currently we have operations in northern Uganda, anchored around what we call Rupin Radio, and also Wan Luo TV. We have a presence in Gulu and serves the rest of northern Uganda. We have a presence in West Nile. We have a radio there, Arua one, that I'm sure Honorable Leoni knows very well. I'm sure it's been hosted there a couple of times. We have a presence in eastern Uganda. We are based in Soroti, and our flagship product there is Etop Radio. And in Barara, where we have TV West and Radio West. So that was the other approach, to have a national presence. We then went into what we call platform diversification. And this basically was to make sure that we reduce dependence on a single media. When we began, we were just a newspaper. But along the way, as you see, we have grown into a multimedia business and media house. So we have many platforms. And the idea was that we shouldn't just depend on a single product.
Minister Matiri PICT Honorable Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao owani molo dire magiti kamban man guti matek magulok nen makaramanti lokedung doko mon kiloni digitoni guti kwere mete yulim kibene kelo alagla komje magen giti kwere wek koro bit kanen.
But today we also want to talk about our shared future. As you know, the ministry is leading Uganda's digital transformation agenda. We are working to move our country from paper to digital, to make services faster, easier, and available to every Ugandan whenever they are. And here is where your role becomes even more important. As the leading newspaper, you are not just a reporter of this transformation, you are a partner in it. We need you to help us tell the story of digital Uganda, to explain what e-government means.
Mapat kiloko jemi wago loke kono kiti ket maloko lakti kwede karmane lokon kubeme ICT ni kipago bene Vision Group bede kin company magichulo muchor madong don loy lobo Uganda piyeni gitike kero meti mana dakben kilubo chik kono bene gen gichobo ngoma gen giwanyo bota nywele Uganda ni wokiti mo komtich. Minister Madit Bilokom Kobeme ICT Kidong National Guidance Man Right Honorable Justin Kasulu Lumumba Beno Berutie Wen Kariben Man Karmo Kani Jimpeti Meken Makayubo Kwere Totela me company Mego Bede Karma Lakonen Weko Chak Bed Kikayor Metimo Jema Pol Man Lupe Kala Kariben Alaka Tie Omier Kiyele Lim Kiti Wekenene Kor Berukanen Kitma Omiero Time Kwere.
Discuss how to do it because we need now to change the way we brand the government. Even our last mile programs, we need also to rebrand them. So we may have to have one by one, and have discussions with the sectors that are in charge so that we're able to cause impact, but also change the face of government to suit in the current. We are in charge of digitalization, so we must also help government to digitalize.
En bene umogone mono watikin gin gang kalme ICT kidong gamente kidong vision grupo boto matwal penjima pikiti kutima kitima kajil ongon metitman omiero metamera. Kidingchel Minister Matidi Pilokom National Guidance Man Honorable Aliuni Yok Odria Opara Matek to Trepa Vision Group Meteno Kolo Komchulu Muchoro Kibene Miyutit Botanyulegan Mapola Tamakitika Tika Chel Mekelo Alora Ni Woki Pokolo Ngia Mauchuin.
And I must say, we're all aware of our mission, our vision 2040, where to take the GDP of this country. And we are looking at taking our GDP to 500 billion US dollars. And we are left with 14 years to that. What are some of the ways? Government-public partnerships. And that's exactly what the vision is doing. And when I look at your achievements, you can clearly see that you're now one of the biggest taxpayers in this country. We highly do appreciate that. Look at the aspect of jobs. I've just realized from this interactive meeting that you're employing over 400 Ugandans. How many people out there do know that? 462. How many Ugandans know that you're doing this?
Ingetia kolima ne jema polo berutie menene kimogo watikin kampani man kidong lure midonlo witien gamenteni wekiti kachel. En Odria beno weni mono jema kitimo ni woki otpokolo ngaman merkiloko loko dokile madao nya ikingang. Ikine tele makiloko Uganda kan makdan wenguni yang marom iyup mano akibot gamente kibeno no lok mamior lwako mior nge chadawe loka ngeya ikinde mapigitiko mano aki odi pokolo nge mati Uganda Vision Group omioro telwie menene dano magitikin gangon yang lok man mabe ni woki tich kileb maikin gang mekwango lok. Piloka nge mawachwin e Wan Luo television Ania Sande Akumu. Igamapat kilovo Uganda kabir makayo mebedo kabir memiyekon mayor kompito Ebola mati bunia mani kumalo mekunya medira Kongo dong tika tia wakati dang tia tera mechakotich malupe ki report pa UN chabidni enim dulme WHO go eni makabir mampia tekotol megwako dani nge moko tie patu Ebola idwe me abit niyo watin don neko dano aliva jail miya bike piara boro vya biro kabene ki mogone umako dano makaro aliva deki miya bichel malupe ki report pa WHO en ilovo dira Kongo kunum wanen eni kipere tere duju kambeti. Dulme WHO go ani mono paro patu Ebola eni ayedong nentela maditelo ya moti melo bodira Kongo ne chake ikin mwaga mapola tam. Poro patu Ebola madon ne rodan mapolo dira Kongo oneko chok dano ali bario kimia dek ikom dano ali badek kimia bid mama gene kin mwaga ali breka para boro ki mwaga ali bario ki piera rio. Ebola matikar eni opor linda pawe ya bit medumia beach dok tikono kwa Ebola makwidi maklune mono bundibujo virus ayekelo mabene payat kayat maken mone romo changone kere yat mo maramo bero agwera en pikito Ebola eni. Miu enende piara dek medremia bere mwaka eni noronki mogo pitie patuoman yo mago dano aliba dek mia bichel kia bichiko meno onego dano aliba chel mia bich piara boro ya biro malupe kilok pa WHO te loga ne mon rome toi kum matuoman magacha mago dano tiwe % piara ngwen. Ebola matituo makobo pole gudu kumdana kidong nyuane kipiko mo aki kumdana matiki tuo ni eni tutwale kelo on tunyechwe pare mkikaber mapole keneti ye wang kidong yu mapole matiki kumdani do neko dan makaro aliba para bichi Afrika ikine mimaka piara bich mo karangich. Kabero madong tuo man bedo kaporie tere loyo ayeti Ituri province mati kumalo meko nyaume diara Congo kabero mautena tena kilowo South Sudan kidong lobo Uganda. Poro patuo ni wangi oporo ka onyai province mokene ang'wen ni kenetie North Kivu kidong South Kivu dok kabero madong bene tite loj pa M23 magino kony kibod gamente melobo Rwanda oweko lwenyi kum tuo man odogo tek tutwale. Yata goera mo ma WHO goeni olotote kamiyo gendok olototo kela giki poro pachuoman tikon gitika yupe ni ki Singapore ikabero makilwuni mon Hillman Laboratories malupi ku report mo katichi ang'wen. Ichabit mo kan ng'ati mo diere otiko nongo dos ma chel ma gwera man makiluni bundibujo vaccine madul me Oxford University ayo yubo magiri temni fura teme karman kachiromo tich onyoku mechango to Ebola en kwaene makiluni bundibujo ni. Pe Wan Luo television eyup melo ang'e ma ochiny ania Sunday Akumu. Elokom turo piempagany kwan magiti berie daktari do tiro chake woro man piempagany kwan mapolata giti koni piemapol matiti me magibege gany kwan makaro piara bira magiti district man gogore lobo Uganda kaneno kit me piem ikintu magiti pemiete badminton piem mwekidung turo moken mapolata mamiara dam tikatime i secretariat SS kimo kene tikatime benesa Samuel Baker School matie Igulu City. Ismail Jacob Jones Kelly report Lokum Togo.
Togo me Pierre Yangwen me National Tournament of Health Training Institution me Uganda matika teme Gulu College of Health Science utiro chake tinem ineno me achel kicheng barda Togo woodball ki badminton uchake igang kwan sa Samuel Baker School kadong Gulu College of Health Science tika jolo Togo me Adam Wich kagang kwan Secretariat Girls SN ujolong wen inoni turo me mwakamano kelo kachel kwa turo mapat maroma bongwen kolo matie ye handball, basketball, netball, football, volleyball, badminton, woodball ngwech kidong bene turo me Adam Win Sam Udom matie assistant commissioner manolo kum turo dao aki janga mete malolo kum turo kifonye o wajinu meno turo meno tiro chake tini iba mapat mai Gulu City.
I am here on behalf of the ministry to oversee the implementation and how the health training institutions game 2026 championship is going on. Now, I wish to say that Gulu College of Health Sciences is hosting these games. It is an annual event in the ministry calendar. Teams have arrived from far and near, and we are basically participating in 9 sports disciplines.
Udon pa kamatir tu dan magiting yupman kon wadin man petigin mo kikan maran maginene kar me turuman.
I want to commend the network and cooperation of the organizers, especially the host institution, that is Gulu College. The principal and her team, they have tried their best that all was put in place. Accommodation is fine, the meals are fine, water, safety, first aid, transport, everything was planned well the local organizing committee did a great job. I also want to thank the national organizing committee headed by Commissioner Reverend Dan Mugumya.
Eno tira meno turuman mo chake tini kicheki gane be mede waisha bichi chabet man.
We are participating in athletics, mind games. We have badminton and woodball taking place. So participation is good. Average attendance we are above 70 so far, and I want to commend all the health training institutions which came here. So far we have not had any incidents of indiscipline either by the community or the athletes.
Kitung chel Jane Babalanda mati principal megang kwan Gulu College of Health Science mati Gulu City o wajani turumano kelo kachel du turumakara aliberio mia bichel ki Pierre bichel mogo aki district mapat may lobo Uganda.
What challenges along the way in holding that tournament that is scheduled for 1st July, but because of the closures of Ebola, it was pushed up to this time. But we are happy we have done our games, although not to expectation, because some teams have still found challenges traveling to Gulu because of the permissions of the buses, of the drivers and all those other things. But at least we are happy that many of the teams have managed to come for the competition.
Gwechimi mwagaman okelo kachel gai kwan magifonyo lo tiene dok me fonyen makara piera bero kolom malope kilo mukati ki bolu dier mageti nge yopan gwajen geti gani State Minister maneno lokum turo Honorable Peter Ogwang be yapune atie ichia dek chabet man Ismail Jacob Jones pe Wan Luo Television Igulu City.
Kadong megikone nge chabira dek maturo mefuba Division 2 berkwere kumalma lobo Uganda tima ke Gulu City man Gulu Hawks oberker meturo tugario magen Gulu yawago ichabit ma para bichel meturo ni eni gin go berker meturo ke club mo matik man ituro matime chincha bet kuto ke Falcons Basketball Club gin Gulu yo piar biru ya rio ikom piar bichel yangwen kadag ben go turo ke Makere Eagles man ituro mo tum piar bichel ya rio ikom piar bichu ya boro Locho Berobot Gulu Hawks wanen eni kibot David Magere.
Inge chabit maromo adek kolo matuku me Federation of Uganda Basketball Association FUBA Division 2 odon kwere iweo manana kono inge tiro la wala machel tukuman tiro duguma lia tutwali la wala mario kama tukuma papa do berutie pechabit mapa we bichel mimwa tukuman ale bari gipiru bichel inoni kin teams mapat par mo berka tuga ye Gulu Hawks Basketball Club man team aki Gulu City kon gen go berki tuga re tum chabit man kama gen go make ki Falcons Basketball Club kachel ki Makere University Eagles. Ituro muteme itumcha bitman kono ki inakasero primary school mati Kampala ichencha bitman indario bema bola wo inoni Gulu Hawks ojolo Falcons Basketball Club kama Gulu Hawks olo turumeno kongen go dino Falcons Baskets piara beru yari kom piara bichelu yangwen turumu berishian bichel kono ki ba chelo kono inoni Gulu Hawks olo turumi kongen ge goyo Makere Eagles Makere University Eagles Baskets piara bichelu yari kom piara bichelu boro noni Kenneth Ochiera Fidele mati captain pa Gulu Hawks Basketball Club kono wajini igi yom nige loya turumeno karibeti oberi loya mechi pien team sario maki turu kwedgini pa go beru katura kwedgi bene
watia odong lawo watuku chiamo chapara chel tien watuku kujepo chawadet lawo tum 62 on 58 matino tum 768 matino dia 72 64 matino against Makere Eagles lawo pero Falcons
loya tukario man kerwi poison achel no duo ya chel
wabe duwe ya chel so the next weekend Kampala be tena no loya rio wanchi wa maintain number chel
kwa ni vote fans club
kwa raboti ni losing there at Kamala, but we realize our mistakes, so what we are correcting. Like in these two games, our beru kerene. Allah, but not with the margin. Aro gera, but you go. So by next week, no beru mabe.
Next week, we are unity komanga kiti mane.
This Phenom, Tiago Empire.
Meta Phenoms,
Ki Emperor.
Yes.
Beru Kampala.
Why Beru Kampala?
Okay.
Yeah.
Eno wa indi kono gitie ka tote menene ologi yubo ka beru mugo mararaj magi beru ka balne tugo wa tugo matika bino gen gi tuk mabe wa ginon ka kar maker to twal me doni playoffs me mwa man ino lo tugo man kono wa gulu Oxford chung in number Arua wi mecha men ki points piari wa bor ngi tugo da pa wi bichiel ngi tugo piari wa Rio kon ngar malobo kogi aye tie makinde shooters kamano gen gi tie nyim inoni gulu Ox tugo mukene mauti ka bino gen gi make gi Metaphenom's basketball club ka tiel ki Emperor's basketball club man tugo duchu mabuti me ki Kampala lo gange kom turi Wan Luo TV David Magere
Tanen Wan Luo television te oya gike yuk me lorange mo chin pichin Rio Martin lorange en mobinwe pe in dire ni chawa chel mo deko nyim yuk me rupintin ania sande Akumu mete kinena wa yumbo kentika bin kombeti e Wan Luo TV keken.